So I'd like to showcase 3 smoke lineups to gain T-side control on Yard Nuke. 2 of which are going to be required to smoke both main and garage. And the third one is going to smoke off heaven, all the way from T-spawn. Well, T-roof rather. But it's going to smoke off using 2 grenades here and 1 grenade there to give you full control of outside and getting into secrets. Some of these lineups will be using HUD elements in order to execute the throws. Specifically the circle at the very bottom of the screen that showcases what side you're playing on. The reason I've decided to use these instead of crosshair or like placements is because the skybox on Nuke isn't static. It slowly moves across the screen, which makes it a lot harder to line up using that. And using crosshair and like estimating how far up you need to go depending on what you're aiming at isn't consistent enough. So therefore I've decided to use the HUD instead. Which I know means if you're using HUD scaling and stuff like that, won't be fully accurate. But at least you know roughly how to like aim it up, and maybe you can figure out a similar way yourself if you decide to use HUD scaling. The first lineup is from T-spawn on top of this railing next to the blue door. You want to align your crosshair so you're at the very middle of it. And here is where the HUD element comes in. You want to aim with the HUD element so that it just barely crosses over these 2 forklifting holes on the container. Like that. So they're just barely covering the corners of both holes. This specific lineup is very forgiving, but this is the best setup that I've found. You just throw it, and it's gonna land and cover garage. The next lineup will cover main. You just want to wedge yourself in between the fence and the light post. And you want to aim using crosshair right there between this triangle here. Preferably like aligned with the line going here on silo. This is gonna smoke off main. It bounces off the wall at garage and places itself pretty nicely right there. So that will cover both main and garage. The next one is actually going to cover heaven. You want to go to the AC unit here on top of T-roof. Wedge yourself between the pipe and the AC box itself. Again, we're going to be using the circle at the bottom of the HUD to align with this. So you see the pipe sloping down here. You want to go to the first railing after the slide down. And you want to basically plant your circle on top of the pipe right above the railing. Like so. So the circle is planted on the thing. Basically, it's like rolling across the pipe. But it's right above where that railing connects. And here's another jump throw. And it lands right on top of the stairs. As a CT, if you were to try and defend Yard from here, you won't be able to see anything. You move up, you're gone. You can't see. Like, in order to get any sort of vision on the people crossing, you have to expose yourself fully. Even this AC unit is covered. You could stand back here, but it's not optimal. I'm gonna throw these grenades again and show you how much it blocks from CT side. And also how much, if you were to smoke heaven, how hard it is to actually spot anybody crossing from up there. It's not impossible, but it's still hard. So I'll just throw these quickly again. Align with the holes. Jump throw. Wedge yourself here. Right in the triangle. Jump throw. So if you stand in garage, can't see anything. Can't see between here. And from main, you're also completely blocked. And if you're in heaven, let's say this is smoked, you can't be anywhere except here. You can barely see over the lower smoke, which is there. You can see people's heads. But it's like I said, you have to be fully exposed in order to see them. This smoke specifically on heaven isn't 100% consistent. sometimes it will bounce off the edge of the staircase instead of the top, and therefore land a little bit lower. It still covers the walkway, but not the railing. So it's still gonna be a nuisance for the guy defending. But I'd say it's about 90% consistent. Sadly not 100, but I think it's consistent enough.